Hey there, how are you? So I'm excited today to cover a really great topic that I have set up for you guys. And pretty much this topic is, I'm going to probably say my favorite when it comes to the real estate, with the real estate investing side. And the best part is you don't necessarily need to be a savvy investor, experienced investor, or have a whole lot of money. And what is this? Well, this is buying your first property with an FHA loan and doing it with a multifamily. And so this type of financing and this type of purchase is really unique. It's become more popular in the recent years. A lot more people are talking about it, but we've been talking about this for a decade at least. We've been helping a lot of people really move forward with their first purchase. And instead of going and buying a house, they go and buy a fourplex or a duplex or a triplex. So I'm very excited to touch this topic with you guys, show you a little bit of the numbers. Now the numbers have changed dramatically over the last 10, 15 years as far as where the return and all of this. It used to be that if you bought a fourplex with your FHA loan as a first-time buyer, you basically could live for free because you didn't have to pay anything out of your pocket. Today it's a little bit different, but it's still absolutely worth moving forward and making the decision to do it. We're going to show you the example of using the FHA loan as a first-time home buyer, as a primary residence with a multifamily, and you know, purchasing it later as an investor and what the numbers are going to look like. So today we're going to give you a whole lot of great detail so you guys cannot quit on us. You guys got to stay to the finish line. So please also, if you haven't subscribed already to our channel, please do so. We're excited to be bringing you guys more content. And, I've been creating a lot of content over the recent years, but it always has been in Spanish. And the reason for that is because for, all this time, I thought that really our Spanish speaking clients are the ones that really needed that kind of extra guidance, extra education. And all of a sudden, I start to realize that really everyone's looking for that. You guys all want to learn. You guys all want to understand more about real estate. And you guys are hearing a lot about the power of, getting involved with real estate investing. So I'm excited to be able to share all of this information, all of this experience with you. So please ask a lot of questions. That's what this channel is for you guys to really, really let us know what are your concerns, what are you guys listening to. Maybe if something wasn't clear, please make sure you're putting your messages in your comments so that we can get back to you. So let's get started really quick. So pretty much how to pay your first property and have it pay itself off, right? So that's the game plan here. Like I said, it used to be that you could live for free, but now it's the property is going to pay itself off. So technically speaking, you make the purchase, and this is going to be, let's say, a 30-year purchase. It's a 30-year contract for this fourplex, and the idea here is that the fourplex is going to pay itself off. So technically speaking, you won't need to add any additional money into it, and it'll just kind of stay there cruising along year after year. Your equity will be building itself, and so I'll show you guys the numbers real quick. So let's get started. What does this look like for you guys, right? What would a fourplex look like? What am I talking about? Let's get started there. So here we have, so fourplex is basically 4 units, and we have many fourplexes that are just a single story. So they're all on the on the first floor. We have some like this that it's two units upstairs, 2 units downstairs, and there's a variation. So they could change a little bit. We also have the option of you to have, it's basically like a house and a fourplex. So that's kind of like the max out there that we've seen as far as being able to get through with FHA. So this is a very typical, right? A very typical layout of a fourplex. And so we'll get started here. So what do you need in order for you to buy your first property? Well, you need 3.5% down. So with a fourplex, it's also important to tell you, you're not going to be able to get any of the down payment assistance programs that are out there. So no free money from the government, just because many of them see this purchase as kind of an investment as well. So, and they're right, it is a great investment. So the program will require you to come in with 3.5% down, and I'll show you the numbers really quick on what that looks like. You basically are asked to live in the property minimum a year. So for you to have the intentions to live in the property as a primary residence at least a year. So that means you're going to be occupying one of the units, and the other 3 units would be rented out. So the idea here is that the other 3 renters are the ones helping you make that mortgage payment that you're going to see right now. And then basically the next part here is, what are the general requirements for you to own or buy in a fourplex FHA? Well, you currently cannot have a property under your name. That is one of the biggest questions that we get asked all the time. It's, oh, I would love to make that happen. I would love to do that. And somehow you already own a property, or you, helped somebody buy another property as a co-signer. Technically speaking, that's still your property. So this way, basically FHA wants to say, you know what, we'll help you buy this first property or this home you're going to buy, because it doesn't necessarily need to be your first property or the first property you've ever owned. You could have sold everything off already and started off new, and you can start with the fourplex FHA. So basically, what does this mean? No property currently under your name, so that basically they understand that this is this is going to be your primary residence. So FHA wants to make sure that they know that. Again, the intention is that you're going to be living there 24 months. Credit score, what we're seeing is minimum a 620. You are able to purchase FHA with a lower FICO score. The only thing is you're going to have to come in with a higher down payment. Super important to mention, because you can buy with a lower FICO. You just need a larger down. And the idea here with this fourplex is that you come in with the least possible money. And so to come in with the 3.5% down, you will need, like I said, a 620 at least. 2 years of tax returns. You're going to need pay stubs, paycheck stubs, however you get paid. And if it's mobile, it's easy for you to actually, integrate all that information to the bank. And so only 1 month. Credit score, again, 620. I put that in there double in case you guys forgot. But more importantly, with this property, you are going to need to purchase the fourplex in the area where you're living, you're working, right? It has to make sense that this is a property you are going to occupy. So for example, those of you that live in California can't buy FHA fourplex here in Las Vegas, unless you're a truck driver, because there's rules that change for truck drivers. But other than that, you're going to have to be able to buy wherever you're living, wherever you're working and living at, okay? So what do the numbers look like? So let's take a quick look at this, okay? So FHA, we're estimating approximately fourplex at $550,000. Now, I will tell you that these numbers are changing. Fourplexes are very popular. They're probably an investor's favorite right now. We get a lot of requests for them. And so it's not the easiest to buy a fourplex with FHA. Super important for me to mention that. Why? Because if you do end up getting qualified for FHA and you want a fourplex, duplex, or triplex, and all of a sudden you're in the market and you find yourself stuck with, submitting offers and not getting anything accepted, it's because it's very common, unfortunately, that sellers will go the direction of going with a conventional loan or go with cash, which is out there for multifamilies. So when you're qualifying with this type of loan, you are going to need a super aggressive, amazing agent that's going to go in there and really make it happen for you, because fourplexes or multifamilies are very popular, and usually those that get picked first are investors or conventional loans when there's a larger down payment. So just prepping you for that. And what does this mean? It's because the price, that affects the price, right? So if you guys are not able to find anything, or there's a lot of competition in like 550,000, you might have to go a little bit higher. We have seen fourplexes that are a little bit lower than that price, but what are we seeing? Again, a lot of competition, cash is coming in, investors are coming in, picking them up really fast. The other thing to keep in mind as well is if you're going to need an FHA loan, the property is going to have to pass FHA inspection, right? The FHA inspector is going to be looking for those items because it is going to need to be in livable condition. So for example, if there's one of the units that needs, a great remodel, which actually in the eyes of an appraisal will not pass, it can't be inhabited. Then what's going to happen is that it's not going to pass for the FHA loan. So that's also a very important piece when you're out there looking for this fourplex. It's going to need to be move-in ready in the eyes of the bank in order for the financing to go through. Again, this is mainly the job of your realtor to really, go through this and make sure that they're out there scouting the market for you to find this deal. All right. I did say it was an amazing opportunity, an amazing deal, but I did not say it was easy. So that's important to mention so that you don't give up just in the first try or, while you're out there in the hunt for your fourplex. All right. So let's say 550. Down payment is 3.5% down, so 19,250. Simple math, right? Closing costs, we're going to estimate about 3%, 16,500. So technically speaking, for this fourplex, it'd be about $35,000. And many of you might say, Nora, I could buy a home possibly with less money. You're right. Maybe right now, if you don't own a home, you might be able to buy something 400, 350, and you might be able to come in with less than that. But for those of you that have really the mentality of an investor and that want to grow your, portfolio, and I'm sorry, my Spanish comes in here and tries to mix in with my English sometimes, so you got to bear with me. So what ends up happening is if you want to grow and you have that vision of not just owning one property, then FHA is really the way to go. Why? And I'll show you why real quick right now, because you have the opportunity to come in with only $35,000 down. If I had that opportunity to buy a fourplex and only give $35,000, trust me, I would take it in a heartbeat. I don't have that opportunity. So those of you that don't own a property right now can take this forward and do something. So again, it's going to take a little bit extra cash, but it's okay. It's okay. Why? Because you're already looking at the future and you're looking at it in a way of building, right? Not necessarily taking. You don't want anything for it to give you anything back right now. You're looking for it as a long-term commitment. Yes. So once we're here, let's now look at the scenario or at the picture if you're an investor, right? We just looked at the scenario if you are owner occupying the fourplex. Now we're going to look at it as an investor, right? So this technically falls on anybody else and anybody that already owns a property. This is where you land. So again, same scenario, $550,000 the property. The difference now is that the bank's going to require 25% down from you. So now that changes completely. Now that's $137,000, right? $137,000 down. Closing costs $16,000. So now you're at a total of $154,000 total. So it's way different than about $40,000 as a first-time home buyer or as a primary residence that you were using that FHA. So again, this one's right here. So let's now look at the numbers, monthlies, rents, and all of these things, which are super important, okay? Which make up the numbers, and that's what makes sense, right? So let's look at what we're seeing here. So 550, 19,000 down payment. Your loan amount is going to end up being around 530. Okay, so you're giving your down payment towards, let's say, the principal, and you're going to end up with the loan amount of 530. Okay, normal. Now, if we do the other option and we go the investor route, basically what we're looking at here is the advantage here is that you're basically going to be giving a larger down payment. The 25% down is a large down payment, so you're going to avoid having something called mortgage insurance, and you're also going to have a much lower loan amount. So I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to buy a fourplex with 25% down. It is still a great idea, but I'm just saying if you have both options and you only have $50,000, what would you want to do with those $50,000? You know you can't go 25% down on a fourplex right now, so the FHA side would be the ideal scenario for you. So the goal here is, I'm not saying that it's not worth you going investor on a fourplex. Why? You're going to see the numbers right now. Going with the 25% down and seeing the return on your money is really amazing as well. You're going to see that it's extremely productive. But if you have the option of going in with less cash, why not take it? And that's what we're talking about here, right? So in the scenario, the same thing, 550, and now the 25% down is 137. And now your loan amount, you can see right here, we're at basically, the loan amount is actually not correct. Not correct at all, because we should be right around the 400s. I made a quick mistake here. So this number is incorrect, but you're going to be closer to like the 4, what is it? 420s. 420 is going to be right around your balance. So it's a big chunk, which is great. So it's not like that money is going to waste. It's going towards the principal. It's going to be used. And as a result, you're not going to be paying interest, right? Because you have a lower balance. So once we do this, we then go into a quick summary of both. And the summary here is, again, your loan amount is going to be 530, excuse me, on the first one. And on the second one, your loan amount is going to be around 420. So once we do this, these numbers, let's look at the loans real quick and a little bit about their story. So this is where it gets a little interesting, my friends, in regards to what you guys are going to see. So here is where you're going to see, okay, how much money am I really going to make from this fourplex, or what is the gain here? What is the advantage of this fourplex, right? FHA. And so we're going to take a quick look right now. And like I said, I used to do these, and I'm just a quick what is it? Thursdays, looking back on, I mean, I used to do these estimates, and we were looking at fourplexes, my friends, that were 300,000, 320. The numbers were different. The interest rates were different. FHA, I mean, people were living for free in their unit. It was amazing what we were seeing 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And so now things have changed, and I wish I could tell you that I think that it would go back to that, to tell you, hey, hold off, don't do anything. But that's not the case. We're just seeing that the demand for housing is here. It's not going anywhere. It's a huge demand. And so it's best that you get your property and stop waiting, right? So again, loan amount 530 at the rate of 7% interest rate, approximately FHA, right? We're not taking into consideration credit. We're not taking into consideration all these things. We're just kind of using it as a blanket, right? Estimate. 30-year loan, because that's what the FHA is, and this is what your monthly payment would be today, okay? $4,091. That includes your principal, your interest, mortgage insurance, your regular insurance, and taxes. So that's everything all bundled into your payment. That's super important, because sometimes, guys, what you guys are getting out there as far as estimates, it's only the principal, only the principal and interest. That's it. They don't give you the rest of the amount. And so sometimes the estimates are a little off. And so today I'm giving it to you exactly how it is. So it's $4,091 approximately. And so what are we doing here? Well, we're moving right along. And now let's do an estimate on the side of you're an investor, right? Let's look at the investing side. If you were to invest, your loan amount, that's the right amount, $412,000. So the loan amount is $412,500, which is great. Interest rate for an investor is usually a little bit higher. So we're saying 5.7. Perfect. And now we're doing same thing. It's a 30-year. Now you could see the difference. We're about $1,000 difference, because you came in with about $100,000 more in cash. And so here's your total payment, right? $3,144. Now it's also very important to mention that it's very common that you get your loan, and that at a certain time in the future, whenever the rates drop, whenever there's an incentive for you, that you go ahead and reset pretty much your loan and refinance, right? That's what a refinance is. It's kind of reset, refresh your loan at that new interest rate. And so a lot of people take advantage of that when the opportunity comes, right? So in the next 30 years, whether you're doing an FHA or you're doing a conventional loan, the moment that the market gets really good with rates, you're able to dive in and take advantage, refinance. Most of us have equity in our home, so therefore we can quickly do the refinancement, and the numbers look great once we drop the rate, right? So that's always going to be an option. So, but let's going back to your monthly payment. So your monthly payment is $3,144. That's great. That's super. So again, we're looking at the scenarios, and we're not saying that this scenario is negative, because it's not, versus the other. We're just saying that the other one, although the the mortgage payment is higher, right now you guys are going to take a quick look at what it looks like, right? So here we go. So monthly rents being received, right? So going back, we're saying apartment number 1 is $1,100, apartment number 2, $1,300, $1,100. And then you're living on the last unit. So that's you, completely you there your home. So technically speaking, it totals up $3,500. So that's the rent you're collecting. That's what you're receiving every month. You're living in one of the properties. So guess what's going to happen? Technically speaking, let's see here. We're doing it now as an investor. Same thing, same numbers, same thing. The difference as an investor now, again, the difference as an investor is that now the unit doesn't need to be occupied by you. You can rent it out as well. So now you have another $1,100 tenant there. So there in that fourplex, now the fourplex, you're able to generate $4,600. So you living there, you can only generate $3,500. Once you're an investor, you're at $4,600, right? Excellent. So money, so you're basically getting money, money from your pocket to pay the mortgage on the FHA, and we'll look at those numbers right now. So technically speaking, here we are. The mortgage with the FHA, you're going to need a little extra money because how much is your mortgage payment? You guys remember? It's $4,091. So you're collecting $3,500. Your mortgage payment is $4,091. So technically speaking, you're short. And you're short $591. Excellent. Plus, we always recommend every single month, keep $200 for anything. Or if you're going to have, for example, if you're going to have a property manager in the future, just save $200 so you have any little maintenance fees, anything extra, you have that money on the side. So technically speaking here, you would be negative $791, okay? Are you really negative though? Because you're living there. And so if you were out there renting something, if you were out there paying rent regularly in the market, what would you be paying? You'd be the same as everyone else. You'd be paying $1,100. So technically speaking, if we look at this in a different way, you're actually saving approximately $300 minimum a month. You're saving $300 on rent every single month. But in this case, what you're doing is you're finishing up, you're paying that mortgage payment, and you're saving another $200. So again, out of your pocket, you're coming out $800 approximately. You're still saving, you're still paying less than the market rent out there. So you're still in a great position. And the most important thing here to mention to you is once you stop living in that unit, 12 months pass like this. We know this. Time flies. It's flying. It's crazy. It's already, the end of the year basically, and we just started the year. So time flies. Before you know it, the month is here. I'm sorry, the end of the year is here. Now you actually are ready to purchase another home, a single family residence. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be something small for you to, move out of this apartment into a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. Now you can rent that last unit and you're going to end up making the same amount that the investor's making, which is you're going to be right around what did we say? Around $4,600. Now with $4,600, if you pay your mortgage and leave $200 for maintenance, you're still going to have $300 left over every single month. Okay? So basically in this scenario, in the future, right? If you're going to stay in that fourplex, during this period, the next 12 months, you're going to need to come out of your pocket to pay the difference and leave a little extra. But once that year passes and you rent all 4 units, you're actually going to be positive $300. So that's the important piece here, is that you coming out of pocket is not going to last forever. What's going to happen is you're going to have the opportunity for your 4 renters in that fourplex to pay that mortgage off, pay that loan off, and you're going to have an additional $300 left over, right? An additional $300 for anything extra. And or best, again, you can count that as a return on your investment, right? So that's what we're talking about, where the renters are literally paying your mortgage. And although you don't have $1,200 like our investor friend, you still have $300. You have a little bit extra. You can pay your cell phone bill. You can pay your gas, a little extra, and the fourplex is getting paid off. Okay? What does that mean? That before you know it, 5 years, 10 years will pass, and that fourplex, that balance, that debt will be getting attacked, right? Every single month. Who's attacking the debt? Your renters are attacking that debt. So they're attacking and you're just waiting. That's why we say that this is a long-term plan that's perfect for you. So as you are waiting, the values are going up, or let's say they stay the same, and your property is building equity. So now you have a savings there where your fourplex eventually, if your renters are there for the next 20, 30 years, you're basically going to have a property paid off free and clear, $600,000 worth of real estate with that potential. That once that fourplex is paid off, okay, completely paid off, what are you going to have? You're going to have the equity. So it's going to be worth $600,000, let's say that, right? And you're going to have that monthly rent that renters paying those renters are paying every single month. So in this case, let's say they're paying $4,600 still, right? You're going to have $4,600 worth of income move forward 30 years from now. And I know that for some of you that might be way too long. That might be way too much and way too long. But I promise you that time flies, and before you know it, 10 years will pass and you'll be like, gosh, this is almost halfway done. And then if you have the opportunity, you can start injecting a little bit extra, a little bit extra to that principal, so you can pay that fourplex off sooner, not 30 years, but maybe 20 years. And now you have yourself that passive monthly income of over $4,000. So again, that's the story and that's the scenario with the FHA fourplex, right? So again, you're not going to see the gain right now. You're not going to see the dollars right now. It's not going to be super lucrative. It's not going to be super attractive as far as numbers, but it's going to start. It's going to start off pretty much this journey to building wealth with your FHA fourplex. Okay, so hopefully this has made sense. And if it does not make sense, you need to ask questions, because hopefully I've made it very clear that although fourplexes are up right now, the prices are higher, the interest rate is higher, they're more expensive. Trust and believe me, there is still a lot to do with them. And again, once you get approved for this fourplex FHA, not just anyone's going to be out there helping you shop, because they're going to go fast and there's a lot of competition. So you need to grab yourself a great professional agent. I don't know what market you may be in, but if you're here in Las Vegas, we will be more than happy to help you hunt for your fourplex, because we understand and we know this market, this niche really well. We're very passionate, and again, I've said it, this is my favorite thing as far as in my real estate world that we do, right? When we turn a first-time home buyer into an investor, just like this, with their first purchase, it is so exciting. We've seen the rewards over the years. We've seen the testimonies over the years, and it is just amazing. So if we keep moving forward in regards to this, we are now going to look at the investor side, okay? So let's look at the investor side and let's look at it. The income is $4,600. The monthly payment is $3,144. Excellent. Now you're up. The difference here is you're up $1,456, right? You're up $1,456. Awesome. You include those $200 for maintenance, whatever what needs to happen there. So you're really up $1,256. That's a lot of money. So an investor, moving on now to the investor world, where investors look at the return, the rate of return, their ROI. They look at, what is my money making me? What is my money giving me, right? What's the return on my money? And that's what investors look at all the time. And that's how they assess deals and opportunities everywhere. If the numbers make sense, we'll move forward. So in this case, the numbers, the $1,200 a month, we'll do the numbers real quick. And so let's look at the return in the investment, right? Because that's what's important here. So the return on investment, it's again $1,200 a month, and we multiply that by 12. So we're at about $15,000 a year that you're getting from this fourplex. Meaning you're getting $15,000 from your $137,000 that you invested, right? Because that's the cash that you needed to purchase this, right? And so that's why we talk about, what is my cash giving me? So my cash, basically today in this scenario is giving me $15,000 a year. So in order for us to get the ROI, what do? We multiply that by 100. Give me one quick second here. Multiply that by 100. Excellent. We multiply that by 100 and we have our return, our rate of return. What is our rate of return? Almost 11%. Almost 11%, my friends. So what am I saying to you with this? I am telling you that, of course, as an investor, buying a fourplex makes all the sense in the world. And if as many times as you can do this, of course you should do it. And the best part about a fourplex is that usually all 4 units are not vacant at the same time. So usually if you have a vacancy, you still have the other 3 rents that are able to come in and, pretty much pay the mortgage. So that way you don't have months where you're not collecting anything, right? Which happens with residential, with homes, right? You can't, by the time this tenant moves out and the next one moves in, you might lose a month, right? With fourplexes or multifamilies, you will not, right? You have a lot more protection in that way. So what am I saying here is you should, if today you have the opportunity to buy a fourplex as an investor and you have your 25% down, the numbers, look at the numbers, and of course they're going to make sense. Here in Vegas, we're still seeing deals that make sense. Some of the returns may not be 11%. They might be a little bit lower. There might be some deals out there that are great where you might get a little bit more, but this is kind of the ballpark of what we're seeing right now. So again, if you guys are looking at this fourplex opportunity, you guys, again, are going to need to make sure you grab yourself a great negotiator because fourplex deals go fast. Everyone wants them. Why? Because of course they make a lot of sense. And here in our valley, here in Vegas, we are in huge need of housing and renters are everywhere. There's so much a demand in the renting space. So clearly everyone, we're getting now a lot of communities that were looking to build single family housing. Well, now they're building single family homes to rent, not to sell. So that can tell you a lot about our rental market. It's very attractive here in Vegas. So again, what am I saying here? If you have the opportunity to go fourplex investment, great. If you have the opportunity to start as an FHA borrower or fourplex, please do so. You're not going to regret it. You're not going to regret it because again, the renters are paying it off. You're going to build your portfolio from the start the right way, right? So many folks, I promise you that many folks wish they could do this. Buy a fourplex with their FHA loan first. Again, it's so important for you guys to know this information because out there, the whole conversation right now in the market is, investing, how to, side hustles, how to hack and do all these things. And there's a lot of ideas and there's a lot of great ways. This hopefully showed you a quick process for you to really start off with the right foot forward and making sure that you're investing and you're buying yourself your first property at the same time. So the annual, so basically here with the annual profit and the ROI estimate, it makes, of course, all the sense in the world as far as being able to look at that. Again, I want to go into just reminding you, FHA multifamily or FHA fourplex, you're not going to get that much return initially, and it's okay because the goal there is that the renters are paying it off. And the end game is that you're going to build this, you're going to have this asset for years to come. And in those years, you're going to be building equity. And if you stick to it for the full length of the loan where it gets paid off completely, now is when you're really talking. You're talking about over $4,000 of residual income every month. That, for many folks right now, we know that can easily take the position of your salary, right? That means that you're going to be around a salary around $50,000. And so imagine being able to have an investment for that, those years where we're not going to have a retirement account, we're not going to have Social Security and all these wonderful things that people count on, right? So imagine you being able to get going with your fourplex, start early, which is awesome. If you can do that, start early so that when those years arrive, right? When you get into the retirement age, you have assets that can bring you residual income every single month, that can bring you that rental income every single month, right? This is pretty much wealth building at its best, right? So if you are in the market right now, if you want to start the process, if you're a first-time home buyer, if you want to go this direction, again, we are here in Las Vegas. We have more than 18 years of experience. And with this type of purchase, Fourplex's investments, we know this part really well. We've been doing it for a very long time. And a lot of people have started talking about it in the recent years, but honestly, we've been on this Fourplex scenario or this Fourplex niche for a while already with our buyers as FHA buyers, and it's been excellent. The results have been incredible. We have seen families' financial health grow tremendously because they made this decision first over buying a house, and then later on, a year later, year and a half later, they bought their house. We're not saying don't go buy a house. We are excited for you to do that and have your single family residence, 2-car garage, everything that that first house usually, means for you. But if you start with the Fourplex, we're seeing tremendous opportunity in that way, right? So if you have questions, if you want more guidance, please do not hesitate. Ask, please ask, always ask. That's, the best thing right now with all of that's happening in the internet. There's a lot of opportunities for education. But what I will say is that sometimes having so much information confuses us. I can tell you, obviously not in the real estate space, I'm not confused, but when it comes to other areas, right? So basically, what areas do I mean? Like, when I'm researching about health, when I'm researching about some other topic that I know very little about, guess what? There's so much variation of information, I get saturated. Well, I can tell you that may happen as well with real estate. That's why I wanted to create this video to kind of bring clarity and a little bit of, give you guys real examples of in the market right now. And if you have questions and concerns, we are here to serve you and help you. That's what we've been doing for 18, almost 19 years. We love working with folks that have to start from the bottom. Means if you need to talk about credit, if you need to talk about, how to set yourself up so that you can really buy. So although you might not be ready, we're ready to help you. And so we know that some folks or some real estate professionals might not work with you because you're not ready. I have an amazing team, and we're ready to work with you no matter what stage of the process you're in. If you're just in the beginning stage of building or figuring out a strategy, we want to be right there with you. And we know that we have the tools to be able to help you. So again, we hope they give us that opportunity. And if you're an investor and you're looking to buy Fourplexes, it's still an amazing opportunity. There's still tremendous potential here in Vegas. We're involved with we're involved in investing in some other cities outside of Las Vegas as well in multifamily. So we know that space really well. We can help you if you're looking into getting into kind of bigger purchases along, 10, 20, 15 units, 30, 50 units. We know that space as well, and we have a lot of great information to share with you. So if you have any questions, concerns, please feel free to ask. We're always here to serve you, and please ask, put in the channel anything that's not clear on today's video. Let me know so that I can go back and make sure that I'm explaining myself really clearly to you. I think that when you have the information and you feel that it was clear, it was easy as well, simple to understand, that's when the combination comes together to really help you take action, right? I use myself as an example. When things are simple, clear, then I'm able to proceed and really make a decision or take action. So I hope today's information served you. Have a wonderful day. Please check in and subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.